All the ZX10 Masters Cup racing action is proudly brought to you by Red Square for ultimate activation and Bridgestone motorcycle tyres. Hello and welcome to the East London Grand Prix circuit. The crowds have packed in here this afternoon to enjoy the best two-wheeled motorcycle racing in the country. That, of course, is the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup riders. They've come down to the fastest circuit in the land and in excess of 300 k's an hour through Potters and Rifle Range while hanging on the cable, holding on for dear life as the wind pumps here at the coastal circuit. You can see the riders just getting all the selfies and necessary sponsors done in the pit lane. Peter de Vos, one of the top contenders in this championship. Watch out for him. A little bit further down there, of course, Gareth Bezadenote looking for a top 3 in the championship. All kinds of concentration is needed here to conquer the fastest circuit. Probably not only in the land, also in the world. Ian Hardwood, the man from Bridgestone, getting his job done there. You can see the Bridgestone tyres working hard here at the circuit. And a big welcome to newcomer Jade Goodsight.
I borrowed a bike from one of the guys, and the camaraderie and everyone helps each other with the ZX10, so it's really cool. You don't have to spend that much money and you can be competitive. I'm riding, I think, a 2012 model bike, and because they're not really allowed to do much on the bikes, it's really cool. The bikes can still be competitive, and if you can ride the bike and don't mind the wind and the speed a bit, you can have a bit of fun. So that's been great so far. I think I qualified 4th, maybe a second off or 0.8 off, but hopefully the guys that are just ahead of me can pull me around and we can make a race of it.
That's it then. After a very intense qualifying, the riders are getting ready now to head out for race number 1 battle. Joining me in the commentary booth, as always, is Dave Peterson. And Dave, check out that pumping wind as expected here at East London.
That's a tailwind, Rob, so about 400 k's per hour. If they've got enough sprocket on the bikes, they're going to have to put the longest chains possible to put the biggest front sprocket. Here we go. Jason Lamb, local rider on pole, ahead of front iron's Sven Gruner.
Jade Goodsight on that front row of the grid. Brilliant qualifying there from the newcomer. Gareth Bezadenote, Jaco Koos, Peter de Vos and Jonty Collard rounding out your second row.
Michael Smith, Teddy Brook, Pierre Leroux, local rider, and Johan Leroux in 12th position.
Just behind them, Apana Ganapathy, Brian Bontequin a little bit further down than he would like, Wayne Spicer and Ian Hardwood, the Bridgestone man.
And the times are ever so close. Just there is Sofiso Temba, God Ditcott, Bruno Bolza, and JB Skuman. Join us after the break for Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup, race number 1 from East London.
Welcome back to the East London Grand Prix circuit, and the scene is set for battle of race number 1 in the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. You can see the riders have lined up on the grid. There we go, the pole position man, the local flavour. It's Jason Lamb ahead of championship leader Graham from Redas, Sven Gruner right in the mix on the front row of the grid. Here we go, on board with the new man into the series, Jade Goodsight. He's raced in all forms of motorsport, so this is really where he's suited. You can see not the greatest to start there from the second row of the grid. It did look like Jason Lamb, the local man, got a brilliant start from pole position.
On board with Peter de Vos, he'll be contending in Class C category here today. Don't forget, Rob, we've got A, B, and C. The A being the younger guys, the C being the bullies.
Yeah, and these bullies are not holding back around the fastest circuit in South Africa.
What a view.
Flat. We got a big problem. Wayne Spicer. That is Wayne Spicer getting it all wrong on the opening lap through Potter's Pass.
Van Breda's out front, but look out for the local man, Jason Lamb, on the brakes as they come down into Cochabana. All the bikes spread out left and right before abreast. Peter de Vos runs wide. Oh, that allows 2 bikes to get through on him. He'll be hating life there. Normally he's so good on the brakes, but the tailwind is catching them out.
Yeah, you said it, Dave. The tailwind, you really do have to play with it. We know that your brake markers almost change with every single corner. First time coming into the infield section as well. The first time really putting pressure on the left-hand side of those Bridgestone tyres. So you've got to be oh so ginger. So easy to lose the front end there. The wind also catches under the bike and just puts you out wide. As we see,
we're on board here with Jacques Ackerman now. Over to the left. Oh, there he goes. Wayne Spicer disappears. He's obviously just bumped out there. A slow-mo. We just get the top of the bike as he goes over the handlebars. I don't think he's injured because I don't see any first aid coming to attention there. So luckily he's got away with that one.
Yeah, the wind could easily have played a role in that as we look further to behind. Oh, Johan Leroux, Teddy Brook, John T. Carlard. This is only the opening lap and already tied together by a string. And look at the man out front. It is the local flavour, Jason Lamb. Well, no, it's Sven Gruner now. Ahead there of it looks like Jason Lamb. Jade Goodsight, the new man to the series, not too far behind either.
Great shots as they come past the start-finish area. On board with Jade, a 2012 model Kawasaki ZX10, and he's running in the top 4. There, the bright orange bike.
Yeah, brilliant start. Also from Yakukos, not too far behind. That's Teddy Brook going on the inside. Very brave move to do that in Potter's Pass on John T. Collard. You can see these riders. Look at the body position in them. You really have to put your body over the front end of the bike to hold it down from the wind. Here comes the local man. You can see the local crowd screaming as he goes on the end line. Look at that sideways stuff. That is the wind just catching him.
Both
feet out. It stopped. Fumberdahl, this is MotoGP stuff here from our Red Square riders.
Oh, he's going to go down. He's going to go down.
He's going to tuck the front. Does he keep it all together? Ride of the day by far on opening lap number 2 already. Jason Lamb, you are my hero.
Right behind them, Jade Goodsight must be thinking, what is
what
going
have I got myself
I thought
into?
the roof of Africa was tough. This is really crazy as they come down to that fabulous Cocobana corner. And I must say the Border Motorsport Club have prepared a great track here today and a huge crowd. Look at them there on the banking, Rob.
Yeah, Dave, they've come in and they're enjoying the best two-wheeled motorcycle racing action, probably not only in South Africa, but also the world, the way these guys are going. And Lamb going a little bit defensive now. Fumberdahl, leg out style again. He'll know. He's not too worried about Jason Lamb up front. He's got to beat Sven Good because that is his nearest championship rival. Still on Rodney McLaughlin's spare bike. On board with Fumberdahl. Look at that front wheel just lifting. That's 5th gear, flat out 200 and odd k's an hour with the front wheel lifting. And he still makes a move on the inside.
That is unbelievable riding from Graham Fumberdahl. As you say, Rodney McLaughlin's bike. Graham blew the engine earlier this year. They're still waiting for a couple of parts to rebuild his number 1 bike. So this is the number 2 bike. Jason Lamb, using all of the road and completely sideways going down to Cocobana. And look there behind. Jade Goodsight. He's got past Ghost and he's hanging on to that 4th position.
This is incredible from Jade Goodsight. Hasn't had a lot of time on that bike. Rented it from Sifiso Temba. And here he is dicing for a top 3 podium position. Apana Ganapathy in a good dice a little bit further back there with Brian Bonzuquin, and not the race we expected from Brian. Guy Didcott, Ian Harwood, a brilliant ride from him. Michael Smith and Pierre Leroux, a little bit ahead of them. Here we go. That is Sifiso Temba, teammate to Jade Goodsight for the weekend after very kindly giving him his bike. Jacques Ackerman a little bit further down. The Cape Town man will not be happy dicing all the way down there.
We go on board with Jacques. He's got JB Schoolman alongside him. Will he get? There is JB. Just skirts past him, going down on the beach straight there into the right-hander on the brakes and then tight right as you flick it into the complex section. JB just losing a couple of bike lengths to Jacques as they go through there. Just behind them for Sifiso Temba with his headlights on bright.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Look at Jason Lamb. He's pulling away from the rest of the field. Fumberdahl will be happy there ahead of Sven Gruner, and Sven will not be happy to know that Jade Goodsight is coming, because everything that I've seen of Jade Goodsight in South African motorsport, he is not afraid to make a pass. And look at this gaggle. This is all the way down from about 8th place to 16th place, vying for those final championship points.
I'm going to call that Pana Ganapathy and Johan Leroux dice. On board with Johan. Look how he's having to lie down on the tank, Rob. Keep the front wheel on the ground at almost 300 k's an hour as they go through Potters and Rifle.
And Johan Leroux is 55 years old in the shade, so this is a lot of work at the East London Grand Prix circuit for that man. You can see these riders putting on an exceptional show, as always, as we expect from the Red Square ZX10 Cup Master riders. But the man dominating it at the moment is the local man. He'll have the whole of East London right behind him as he pulls away from the rest of them. Graham Fumberdahl looks in comfortable second at the moment. Sven Gruner in third, but that battle behind them between Yakukos and Jade Goodsight, that is going to rev up now in the final stages.
That is where the action is. Gareth Besaidnout is stuck in no man's land. He's been complaining all weekend about the setup of his bike. He's between that group and this group. This is the group behind with Johan Leroux, John D. Collard, Teddy Brook, Peter de Vos. He would have worked for better than that. Pierre Leroux in as well, the local ride, having a great ride there. He's mixing up with Michael Smith. but back towards the front. This is that dice that we've been talking about. Jaco Gross and Jade Goodsight. The war is on.
On board here now with Jade. Front wheel goes aloft as we expect. 5th gear, 6th gear, and he'll just touch the brakes slightly, bang it down to 5th gear, carry about 240, 250 k's an hour through Potter's Pass. Brilliant on board here now with Jade Goodsight. You got to hug that curb, get on the gas. There's a little bit of a bump there. Oh, Johan Leroux gets it all out of shape on the inside there of Teddy Brook. Brian Bontequinen saw that, and he's just holding back for now. But Johan Leroux is a man on a mission here.
Ian Hardwood also in no man's land now. Seems like he's broken away from that back group, but the middle group where the big dice is, he can't quite get onto them. Right, Goodsight and Gross. That's the dice we're actually looking at the moment, because a little bit spread out first and second. We've got Jason Lamb, Graham van Breda, Sven Gruner coming under pressure though from Jade. So Jade Goodsight doesn't seem too worried about Jaco Gross. He's more worried about getting past Sven Gruner.
And it just shows you how competitive this category is and how evenly matched it is. Sven Gruner rocks up here, one of the title favorites, and he's got Jade Goodsight on that 2012 borrowed machine, dicing with the newer Foster models ahead of him. This is that massive battle still going. This is going to go down to the wire.
John T. Collard got ahead of him.
He's right in the mix there now. He's John T. Collard. Look at this. Jade Goodsight on the inside. Not going to make it stick there. And Jaco Gross. So Jade Goodsight in that uncomfortable position of trying to attack and defend at the same time.
When he heads down into pit lane almost. All right, there's Hardwood stuck in no man's land, and that's that dice that's going on behind him. Jacques Ackerman, he seems to have got to the front of that group. Yes, he has. Ruan Oberholzer's in there, Safiso Temba and JB. JB's just at the back of the group at the moment. Looks like Temba's just got past him.
Good ride further down the field from Guy Didcott, running in 15th place. Oh, big mistake there. What has happened now with Sven Gruner? Looks like he almost let Jade Goodsight through. This is coming through rifle range. That's at 270 k's an hour. You can see Sven Gruner going defensive. I think he's getting a little bit worried now.
Sven might have a problem with the bike, because look how he's holding the very, very tight line, skirted out of Kookaburra. Now the bike looks like it's going okay. Not quite sure what happened
Mr.
there.
Gear, maybe,
and Jade was really well put off. So now Gross will be looking at that, rubbing his hands together. Apana gets that bike on its side as it goes through Kookaburra. It's all about the drive down this back straight. They call it the beach straight, through that right-hander and into the infield section.
Good move there from a Lillian local rider, Pierre Leroux, on the inside of Punna there. So up into about 8th or 9th spot there. Brilliant ride. So the local fans really having something to shout about. But look at that battle now for the final podium in 3rd. And a little bit further down, more racing all the way down the field. Bike 34, that's Ruan Oberhauser, and a big dice there with JB Skuman. And of course, Jacques Ackerman, a little bit further back there. Not where he wants to be. Good rider again from Safiso Temba. But our top two are out of here. This is the battle. Here we go. Jade Goodsight once again on the inside, just not close enough.
Oh, and right behind them, Jaco Gross waiting to pick up the pieces of that dice as they come down on the start-finish straight. One more time, hang on for dear life. Oh, Johan Leroux on the brakes. He's looking at John T. Collard behind them. It does look like Brian Bontequinen has got up on the side of Teddy Brook. So Brook's lost 2 places in 2 laps.
Yeah, you can see maybe some fatigue setting in. It really is hard work around the circuit. You can see holding on. You get tank slappers. Arm pump is your best friend at the circuit because it comes around all the time. Another good ride here from Ian Hardwood. But here we go. Our leading rider, Jason Lamb, the local man, is now coming through the back markers. Ooh, almost runs onto the dirty stuff there. Keeps it all together for the final time of asking. Graham van Breda on that borrowed bike will be loving this. That is 20 valuable championship points. Here comes Jaco Gross on the inside of Jade Goodsight and Sven Gruner. 2 for 1. Will he make it stick?
Oh, he just hangs on to it.
Lucky to get that bike stopped and not take out Sven Gruner. Sven Gruner battling for the championship will not be liking this because he knows anything can happen.
There's that massive dice going on.
Bontequinen.
Brian Bontequinen. Teddy Brooks got back around the outside of Brian Bontequinen. So Teddy Brooks not taking this one lying down. He said, I'm in for this dice as well. Ahead of them, Johan Leroux. We're on board with Jade Goodsight as we go through the infield section for the last time. Can he go around the outside of Jaco Gross? Very difficult to do that right there.
Yeah, Jaco Gross now up into 4th place, now challenging for that final podium spot. Sven Gruner just ahead of him, on board here now with Graham van Breda, our championship leader on that borrowed Rodney McLaughlin bike, coming to the line for the final time. He'll be very happy with that. Stand up wheelie almost as it come across the line, but the happiest man is your local man, Jason Lamb. He takes the win. He's ecstatic with that, but look at the battle a little bit further down. Will it be Jaco Gross or will it be Sven Gruner? It will be Sven Gruner holding on to the final podium spot, but what a ride from bike number 48. It's Jason Lamb.
Official results, Jason Lamb takes the win ahead of Graham van Breda, Sven Gruner, Jaco Gross, Jade Goodsight, Gareth Poseidon, Johan Leroux and John T. Collard. But what an incredible dice we had for 7th position all the way back to 16th. Let's catch up with a couple of the protagonists in that dice.
If you don't have a dice with somebody else, it can be a lonely ride. the wind was quite a factor, and then again, I also think that age is becoming a factor here. But what a lacquer race it was, and I thank my competitors for that.
Teddy and Johan, they really gave it to me. We had Bonte there as well, man. Excellent. Legs slipped over a couple of times, but yeah, lacquer race. Can't wait for race number 2, man.
Time for some refreshments. Join us after the break for Race 2 action. Welcome back to the East London Grand Prix circuit. It's race 2 action now of the 2018 Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. And just myself and Dave Peterson had to catch our breath during the break there, because what a race number 1 it was, and what a race these race fans have been treated to. This is by far the biggest crowd and turnout that we've had so far in the 2018 Extreme Festival Championship, and they've come out to enjoy the best two-wheeled motorcycle racing action you will see in this part of the world.
The riders are getting ready for race 2. The wind is howling. They're just wondering if they're going to be able to get out on track. Yes, they are. Johan is giving them the whistle. They've said, okay, we're out on track despite the wind. They've just been warned, be careful down at Cocobana. You're going to have a huge tailwind going on also through Potters and Rifle. And great to see these fabulously prepared bikes coming out onto the track. The guys are there from Red Square, big supporters of this class as we come onto the grid.
Yeah, on pole position there is the local man. He dominated race number 1. Can he do it again? It's Jason Lamb. Brilliant introduction to the championship for Jade Goodside. A little bit further back, watch out for that massive battle, that mid-pack battle that we saw raging in race number 1. Here we go at the start. The lights are off. They go off. There we go. Brilliant start from the front row of the grid for all our 3 riders there. Looks like Sven Gunnar on the outside line has got the preferred entry into Potter's Pass as we go on board with Peter de Vos.
Peter complained of clutch slip during that first race. And Johan LaRue just goes around the outside. The 2 old guys battling in Class C. They're going to be fighting it out here, definitely. So we're on board with Peter as they go about 270 k's an hour, taking it a little bit slower on the first lap. Van Breda's got the whole shot as we come down into Cocobana. Right behind him, though, the local man, Jason Lamb, Sven Gruner. And up on the inside, it does look like it's Jaco Goos. And then Jade Goodside just behind him. And Rob, there's that dice. Brian Bonderkoning right in the middle of it. We're going to see a repeat of race 1, I'm pretty sure.
I love that shot coming down to Cocobana. The bikes aquaplaning, going sideways, left to right as they fight the handlebars. These guys must have the duct taped to the bars of their hands, because really holding on to these bikes in these windy conditions, not easy. Into the infield section now for the first time. That left side of the tyre, got to be very cautious through there. It looks like all the riders have made it through gingerly but perfectly. There's Teddy Brook. Again, not where he wants to be. He wants to be a little bit closer to that top 5. But we've seen it's Moto 3 stuff here. From 5th down to 16th place are tied between a second.
Van Breda comes into Beacon Bend. Jason Lapp on the inside, just edging out Sven Gruner. Sven Gruner looking around the outside. Don't forget, it's all about the championship points between him and Graham Van Breda. The Stefanudi Stocks Kawasaki at the moment, his spare bike that he borrowed for this weekend, is leading.
Yeah, the number 1 plate out front. Jason Lamb, though, we know the kind of pace that he's got. Sven Gruner now pulled away from the rest of the field. Does look like Jaco Goos and Jade Goodside are going to resume that battle we saw in race number 1. Just not as close to the front 3 as they would like. Gareth Bazano, he's got Jonty Collard and now Peter de Vos for company. So from the lonely ride he had in race number 1, he's got it all to do here in race 2. Jason Lamb closes up. Big style on the brakes going into Cocobana.
Does he do it? We're just focusing on that group behind Peter de Vos. Much better start this time around, going around on the outside of Jonty Collard. Johan LaRue just on the inside of him. And then right behind them, Teddy Brook. He's going hard at it with Michael Smith on his Kawasaki.
A little bit further behind them, Apana Ganapathy, Jacques Ackerman, not too far behind, so better start from those 2 riders.
On the brakes.
Look how much he's going to go around the outside. You can't do it going into there. There's just no room. Oh, he's going to have to put it on the left-hand side. He has done it.
Peter de Vos has got past Jonty Collard, went round the outside through the right-hander, flicked it over to the left and had the drive. Quite amazing. Van Breda, we late on the brakes in the beacon. Jason Lamb, he gets it sideways. Van Breda says, if you want it that badly, you can have it.
You can have it. I've got a championship to think of here. Jason Lamb, this is spectacular stuff from the local man, really putting on a show here. Not only for us, Bontekonen, he's right up in the mix there. Much better start. Had problems in race number 1, but he's at the front end of that field now. Michael Schmidt, he's gone from the middle pack right to the front end, so it's changing with every corner.
Into Cocobana, we late on the brakes. Oh, he's come from 3 weeks back on the brakes there. So late. Oh, and he's lost the front. Jason Lamb has lost the front. Graham Van Breda's gone down with him. Oh, both of our leading riders are on the dirt at Cocobana. Jason Lamb goes to look at his bike. Looks like his bike might be a little bit wrecked. Van Breda's bike doesn't. We've got a red flag. So the red flag has come out. The bikes are lying in a dangerous position. It's probably a good call from the clerk of the course and the marshals on the scene. Van Breda gets his bike started. Now, there's going to be a restart, Rob. Can he go to the restart, though?
I think the rules state that the man that caused the red flag is not allowed to restart, which in this case will be Jason Lamb. So Van Breda could be getting a wild card here because he could be potentially lining back up on the grid and restarting the race. Here we go, the replay on the inside. He just got it all kinds of sun. Too much front brake, too much pressure coming from the rear tire, and that front end is just going to fold.
Surprised he pitched it in so quickly. Oh, there it is. Front end falls. Jason Lamb bites the dirt. And a great ride has come to a sad end, it's got to be said, because the local rider was putting on such a great show. And a great pity that Graham Van Breda has gone down with him. Luckily, we got to the restart. Graham Van Breda is on the grid. Red lights are go on, the red lights are go off, and we are racing. On board. Oh, terrible start there on the left-hand side from Sven Gruner on board with Jade Goodside. A great start from Jade Goodside. Now, let's see what happens. Can he do something about maybe getting a podium position here?
Dave, this has got to be scripted with everything that's going on. This is one of the best soapies you're ever going to watch in your lifetime. Graham Van Breda, he'll be thanking his lucky stars that he's able to get that bike up and running and back to the start of this race. Sven Gunnar with a massive disappointment. I think that's maybe a little bit of anger. He wouldn't have been happy seeing that Graham Van Breda was able to line up again, but he's making a move now on the inside up into third place ahead of Jade Goodside. Yes, one picked off, but he won't be happy seeing Graham Van Breda out in front of this race.
Oh, that usual dice going on. The usual suspects in that sixth place position: Besaidnout, Smith, Brian Bonder, Kernion, LaRue, Teddy Brook, Johnny Collard, and a punter hanging on to them by the skin of his teeth into the infield. Now, don't forget, Rob, left-hand side of the tyre, got to be very careful. First lap, the tyres are cold, so we're going to...
Oh, you just said it. Commentators curse. It's Pierre LaRue, it's the local man. So Pierre LaRue was looking to just make up a couple of positions, and he's got it horribly wrong.
Well, local conditions, local rider, he probably should have known better because they'd been standing on the starting line for a little while for that restart. Come down into Big and Ben, and Sven Grunner's hit the front. He's got past Van Breda, but we're just waiting to... Oh, there's a red flag. That's what I was thinking. Maybe we're going to have a red flag. Pierre LaRue is lying in a dangerous position. So now we're only going to have, a 3-lap race.
Sprint race.
If we have a restart on that red flag. Oh, he looks like he's in a bit of pain. Does wave to the crowd. They clap him off. Well done to Pierre. We hope he's going to be okay.
Yeah, big, massive accident there for him. But like you said, it's going to be another restart. Sven Gunnar has really got the hammer down. Here we go, off the line once again. It does look like Graham Van Breda is out front again. Sven Gunnar with a better start this time, but he's got Jaco Goos and Jade Goodside for company. Here comes Brian Bontekonen on the inside. Peter de Vos and Teddy Brook thrown into the mix.
Brian Bontekonen looked like he was going to take the dirt track lineup on the inside and get him on the brakes. He'd probably be comfortable, but this is great from Graham Van Breda. Don't forget, it's all about the points. Now, Sven Gruner is lying in 4th position. He's taking the wide line. Right behind him is... and Goodside! That is a huge coming together right there with Jaco Goos, who went round the outside of Jade. Jade says, I knew the roof of Africa was tough, but this is crazy.
Yeah, no, this is absolute madness. Michael Smith now on the inside of Gareth Besaidnout, who's got a terrible start there. Van Breda is checking out of this race. Sven Gunnar's got a lot of work to do to try and close him down, but I don't think he's going to have enough time or pace. Gareth Besaidnout right down the field there with his teammate John T. Collard in about 7th or 8th place. The man on fire at the moment. Here he comes, Sven Gunnar. Oh, just shoves his way past Jaco Goos, who's already got some black Bridgestone tire marks on the side of those leathers.
Yeah, that was from Jade Goodside. Peter de Vos right behind them. He's now got ahead of that group. We're on board with Peter. He's got Brian Bontekonen on his tail, but Peter doesn't sound like the clutch is slipping this time around, so much better for him. But look at Jade Goodside. He is absolutely flying. He seems to have... He's got up into 2nd position. Jade Goodside is on a mission.
This is an incredible ride from Jade Goodside. It really is. And gets it a little bit wrong coming out of Cocobana. That's allowed Sven Gunnar to close right in the slipstream there. You can see the riders just fighting those bikes as they come out of there. 2nd gear, the bike just wants to climb. You've got a short shift, 3rd, 4th. Keep the front wheel down to hold the traction. And there's another good ride here. A little bit further down the field for JB Skuman, but improving his times. That's what it's all about.
We're on the last lap, Rob. The shortened race. Don't forget, we're on our 3rd restart. Graham Van Breda, he's got this one covered. Jade Goodside in 2nd place. Oh, you're up to the wide. Sven Grunner's got him on the brakes. The last corner of the race. This is unbelievable from Jade and Sven. As we go down to the checkers, is he going to get back past him? Oh, wheelie, and it's going to be Sven Grunner in 2nd. Unbelievable dicing. As you said, you couldn't have written a better script for this race.
Oh, Sven Gunnar, you can see he's delighted with the 2nd place because he knows he's held back some championship points there, but it was Graham Van Breda out front who now leads the championship. Sven Gunnar, Jade Goodside and Jaco Goos running out your top 4.
Very, very happy, and a massive thanks to my team. The guys worked really hard. We made a few changes in the 2nd heat which seemed to work. And thanks again to my sponsors, to Reef Supplies, Alco Electrical, Stefanucci Stocks and to Jonathan Pels. And also a big thanks, we're still riding Rodney's bike. I'll be back on my own bike in Port Elizabeth, so we're looking forward to that. But a massive thanks, he's kind enough to lend us a bike once again. Thanks to our class sponsors, to Bridgestone, Red Square and Kawasaki. Thank you very much, guys. It was a great show today, I think.
A well-deserved rider of the day going to the new man, it's Jade Goodsight.
I go away this weekend not hurting too much from the pocket and have had a lot of fun. So it's been really good fun and definitely try to get a bike for the next race.
There we go then, champagne showers for our top 3 riders at the TRP Bridgestone Podium. Join us at the next round in Port Elizabeth on the 14th of July. All the ZX10 Masters Cup racing action is proudly brought to you by Red Square for ultimate activation and Bridgestone motorcycle tyres.